We're going to get started in a few seconds. I thought a lot about what to say, and I really couldn't figure out how to do it, so I didn't write anything. But I wrote her obituary, and the same thing happened to me. I got stuck, and then I just felt like I could hear Chrissy saying, "It will be fine, just do it, it'll be perfect," because that's how she was. And then I was able to write it. But she didn't do that for this, so I really don't know what to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the song. Chrissy loved music more than anything besides her children. Music, mostly live music, and mostly me singing. So. Since we were little, she was my only audience. But she was the best audience, and she would tell me when to sing louder, and I would dance for her, and she'd sit on the couch, and she'd be like, "Lisa, get into it." And I'm like, "I'm 6 years old, I'm trying." And she'd be like, "Do a spin, and do a dance, and you're amazing, and you're perfect." So anyway, she's continued that throughout our lives, and when Chrissy got sick, I kind of stopped music for me. It felt like the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do for me to get through what I had to get through to walk beside her. But Chrissy certainly did not. It was COVID too, the beginning of COVID. So live music stopped everywhere, besides my living room. Will and Nicole had weekly Zoom concerts for nursing homes, and Chrissy would make sure to come to all of them. Before chemo, after chemo, before radiation, after radiation, it didn't matter. Nicole and her would work out the schedule so she could make the gigs. And she came to my house, and she dressed up and looked cute. She'd try on do little wigs and little hats and sit in the corner and have her cranberry juice and be very happy. I wouldn't stay and listen. I would either do errands or go upstairs. It was hard for me, just with the knowledge that I'm having in my head and what I was going through personally, but I was really happy that she was able to continue that because it made her happy, and that's Chrissy. So one particular gig they were having downstairs, I was resting after, I think it was she had had a surgery, and I was resting and taking a break and just listening to the music from my room, and a song came on, and they were playing, and I started listening to the words, and I started crying, and I had held back a lot of tears throughout this, and I knew my sister. She was right down the stairs on the couch, I can see it, and I was in the bed, and I felt a magnetic pull to go to her, but I was crying, so I didn't want to upset her, but I kept feeling like, just go sit with her, just go sit with her. It was Here Comes the Sun, the song. It's been a long and lonely winter. Winter had just passed. She had had several surgeries. It's been a while since you've been here. The words were just, it was hopeful, and Chrissy was always hopeful, and so the next thing I knew, I was next to her on the couch, and we were both crying, and I didn't feel bad about crying in that moment, and I think it was helpful to her, and she just held me, and we listened to them play that song. So that's the first song that we're going to play for you. Nicole and Will Nicole be singing. Thank you so much for coming.
Comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Oh, sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like a year since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright.
So, Pussy was a lot of things to a lot of people. A lot of things to a lot of people. And there are so many things I could say. But one of the main things that she was to me was such an encourager. That's the word that kept coming to my mind. And whether it was sharing stories about our kids that we did often, and we prayed for our kids together all the time for years. And our sons, we had a very special place in our hearts for our sons. We prayed for them very specifically, and for sweet Carly. And when my daughter was diagnosed, she was such an encouragement, such a helped walk Bella through report, so many things. And one of the ways that she encouraged me the most, and I hope I encouraged her, is that we would text verses back and forth, and then funny memes, but verses first. And so today I'm just going to read some of, I went back and I looked at all the verses that we shared, and I picked just a few of our favorites. And Thomas is going to read the first one because it's one of his favorites, so he's going to read the first one.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want for anything. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul.
When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. This was one of her favorites. The Lord will fight for you. All you need to do is be still. This one she sent me all the time. It was definitely one of her favorites. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And finally, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet.
Chrissy was my friend, the best kind of friend, the kind who was always there to listen, always positive, always supportive, but still real. She had a gentle way to let you know when you were off base. She'd say, I don't know about that, and proceed with some words of wisdom. There are so many things about Chrissy that I will treasure in my heart forever. Like when my husband and I only had one car, and she went out of her way to drive him to work every day. And like the time that she and my friend Tracy, who just prayed with us, snuck a Christmas tree into my home when I was 2 weeks from chemotherapy to go get one for myself. Today I want to think about my fun friend, the one who wanted to go out and dance whenever she could. She was constantly looking into where we could go that might have music so she could dance. If there was no band, she would play the jukebox. If there was no dance floor, she would dance anyway. I would always get up there and dance with her. I can't dance, but I do like to have a good time, and we did. We always did. I can't count how many times Chrissy and I were together on the dance floor over our 2+ decades of friendship. One of my fondest and earliest memories of Chrissy was a night at the Sugar Shack in Boston. I think it was 1998 or 1999. Lisa and I were up on the balcony. It was like a movie. We looked down. There were wall-to-wall people. The place was bumping. There was barely a square foot for anyone to move. And there was Chrissy, dancing in the middle of the dance floor, all by herself, completely uninhibited and in total bliss. Michael Jackson once said, on many an occasion when I am dancing, I have felt touched by something sacred. In those moments, I felt my spirit soar and become one with everything that exists. I think dancing touched Chrissy in this way. It was her outlet and her happy place. When I think of her up there in heaven, I think of her on the dance floor every day, forever, and it makes me smile. And for all of you, we should take a lesson from Chrissy. Do whatever it is that makes our spirit soar. And the next time any of us see a dance floor, don't pass it by. Get out there, let your spirit be free, and dance a good dance for Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Leo Hogan, Uncle Leo. And when Lisa asked me if I would sing here, I was honored, of course. And a song came immediately to mind because Chrissy really made her medical team wonder. She just lasted so long through this horrible experience. It was incredible. And she was also a wonder to many people, many of you here, and especially to her family. So I want to sing this song. When no one else can understand me, when everything I do is wrong, you gave me hope and consolation. You gave me strength to carry on. You were always there to lend a hand in everything I do. That's the wonder of you. And when you smiled, the world was brighter. You touched my hand and I'm a king. Your kiss to me was worth a fortune. Your love for me was everything. I guess I'll never know the reasons why you love me as you do. That's the wonder
was amazing. It's a tough act to follow. So I'm going to read you all a story. It's called The Giving Tree. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. And if you haven't, it's so worth hearing. And when Lisa asked me to read this book really is just a representation of who Chrissy was and how she lived her life. And ironically, I've known Chrissy, we became friends when we were 12, and the rest is history. Just to say, we ended up ultimately living on Cognac Street together. So we have done our lives together. But I happened to give her this book on her 21st birthday, and little did I know how wise we were, because this is who she is. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy, and every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves, and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples, and they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy." "I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money, and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife, and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree, "and then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am so sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone, my teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them. I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb. I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. So, as we know, Chrissy is someone that her ultimate joy in life was to see the people she loved happy. No other thing made her smile more. If she could give you something, if she could do something for you, it made her happy. It was her joy. I'll just read you just at the end. So I had said to her, ripe old age of 21, I said, so my friend, I asked, are you a boy or a tree? I said, for you, Chrissy, I would say, thank you for being a tree to me. But remember, you don't always have to be a tree to everyone. Take time to be a boy. Jesus is everyone's ultimate tree. Thank you.
I was supposed to say something right now, but I also could not think of anything. Not to say anyways. But I would like to sing this for Christy. Come a little bit closer. Hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we can dream this night away. Yeah, but there's a full moon rising. Let's go dancing in the night. Where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. 'Cause I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. 'Cause I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon, harvest moon. When we were strangers, I watched you from afar. Yeah, when we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. Oh, but now it's getting late, and the moon is climbing high. Oh, now I wanna celebrate and see it shining in your eyes.
Hadass, we're going to skip the two things before you. I'm not sure where you are, but it's your turn. It's your beautiful turn.
We'll continue this. I have to say one thing before we hold this. Can you hear me? No, I'm good. I don't like these. I'm a little bit excited. I'm really excited. Um, um, the day you told me I could say this, I was thinking a lot. That day, I was thinking I want to do something with pussy. And but the thing that kept coming in my mind, one of the times I was visiting and we were eating laughs, I think. And either the stove was already there or it was going to be there, and we said what we were doing the store, and I said maybe I will do belly dancing class, and of course Chrissy said I have to do this, and I'm thinking, Chrissy, you will have to do belly dancing in the chair. I didn't say this, but I said it's okay, it's all round movements. We can do belly dancing in the chair. And I got a very strong feeling that we have to do, not now, that we have to do belly dancing in the store for Chrissy. And once we go back to the store, we have to do belly dancing in the store for Chrissy. We're doing belly dancing. So I'm just saying this to everyone. We're doing belly dancing in the store for Chrissy. Once, and this was a big thing. Chrissy and I had about not saying things to do unless, and this was a long time ago. Chrissy used to say, I used to say sometimes to Chrissy, you are a chicken, but you're a very nice chicken. And she used to say, don't say this to me, this hurts my feelings. But it was also something that it was a mutual thing. It was not to say things unless you were really going to do them. So until it was something that it was feasible that we would do, not to do that. So we're saying this because we're really going to do this. We're going to do belly dancing in the store. Because we're doing this because we agreed with Chrissy, because one of the things Chrissy has done in recent years is that she was so, and I constantly was thinking this, and I said this to her a few times, she was so consistently no longer keeping up. And so we're doing belly dancing. And I can teach this, but I can only teach this. So we're doing belly dancing. Now this, I also have to explain this. And this has to do with, seriously, I'm not joking, this has to do with the Jewish authorities and with the work of Jesus. Because this is a prayer in Hebrew. And when you asked me to do a prayer in Hebrew, this came to me instantly. It was very clear what I'm going to say. This is a prayer, it's called Kaddish. Most prayers in Hebrew, they're ancient, they're at least, the Jewish religion is 5,000 years old. Most prayers are part Hebrew, part Aramaic. They're magical in that they do sacred things, they went directly into this Bible, they translate it incorrectly. If you ever need anything translated on here, I will tell you what they really say. But because the religion functions in the way it did when Jesus came and said, you can't do it like this, I have never gotten to say this because only men can pray. I never prayed this for any of the people in my family because I'm a girl. So this is a good complicity that I got to even look at this in detail. So I was so happy, and it was instant to me that of course I should say Kaddish because this does two amazing things. First of all, it declares the place that someone who left us goes as a sacred space. Kaddish is actually, it's from the word kadosh. Kadosh is the root for sacred. Kaddish means sacred. It makes this, declares this as a sacred space. The other thing is that it's a ladder or in ancient time or an escalator between earth and heaven. Or in cases of people that don't do surgery, lower than earth if they got lost or stuck. And it also has an ability because different layers of heaven. People typically say it for 1 year every day for people that fast. Every day, every day, every day. It serves two purposes. One is for the soul to know where to go. The other is for us to know where to find our loved ones. So we're not sad, we know where they are. So it's like, it maps. It maps and it tracks. So I will say this. I will, also it has amen several times. So you can repeat that if you want. It kind of echo sound. Okay, so I'm done saying all this and I will start praying. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דיברה כרעותה, וימליך מלכותה בחיי חון וביומי חון, ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהא שמה רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמה בקודשה בריחו לעולה מן כל ברכתה ושירתך, תושבחה ונחמתה באמירן בעולמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. I originally wrote this poem to bring some comfort to my nieces, Lisa and Nicole, and to Chris, Christopher, and Carly. I've altered it a bit, as I thought that it also applies to all of us. All of us gathered here today have acquired a new bit of clothing. Some will wear it straight away, others may save it for later. But many will try to lose it forever in the chaos of their closets. It must be worn for its magic to work. You'll be grateful you did down the road.
This new piece of clothing, as invisible as a memory, changes who we are. Our new garment is a thick, heavy cloak that others cannot see, but we who wear it know it's there as we suffer its unyielding load. This cloak, made from grief, is quite burdensome. In its prison, we sit every day. Our posture sags as we shoulder its bulk, as heavy as a bucket of guilt. The cloak smothers our skin in a fog of despair that sunshine cannot lift away. Now that we're walking this slick, jagged jetty of grief, our strides must be mindful and cautious. Our breaths short and shallow, we anxiously feel that a hummingbird's trapped in our ribcage. The cloak hugs our neck, a black tie made of pipeau. We desperately gasp for relief. The cloak offers us up to this quicksand of grief. We fight, but we know we can't win. We submit to the cloak like a rock we submerge, and that's when our healing begins. The soft, gentle cleansing rain of our tears packs the window that's framing our hearts. The thick film of heartbreak is now washed away, leaving the view clear for hope. In time, from the darkest cocoon of our grief, a welcomed new garb will emerge. As we begin to examine and process our pain, our cloak of grief lifts. It swirls and it flips, a magician's illusion, reborn as a cape made from hope. Our new cape of hope floats gently above us, like a mist from a long ago kiss. As it drifts to our shoulders, as soft as a whisper, we gingerly pull it in tight. We swaddle ourselves in our new cape of hope, like the bubble wrap's hug on a teacup. The cape will now catch us as we trip on our grief, breaking our fall with its purpose. We feel so much lighter since shedding our cloak. Our footprints seem left now on clouds. We're free from the deepest despair of our grief. A photo brings smiles now, not tears. There'll be times in our lives when the cloak reappears as we cautiously rise in grief's echo. But now we have learned how to transform it. So when you need it, your cape of hope, it shouldn't be too hard to find. Store it next to your picture of Chrissy, the one you keep safely tucked deep inside, the pocket now sewn to your heart. Those of you here who know me well know that nothing I know goes unnamed. I will name my brand new cape of hope, this cape that goes unseen. It will comfort and guide as I navigate life, my new cape of hope, Christine.
The sun is starting to get you guys over here. I can see it. If you need to shift, feel free. My name is Tommy. I am Chrissy's cousin. And in the last couple of years, I've got to spend a lot of special one-on-one time with Chrissy because we would go to coffee a lot. And we would drive to some pond in Middleborough that I can't think of the name of. And we would just sit there and we would look at the water and we would talk. And so we were planning one of these times to get together. So we through a text message, said, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then she said to me, oh, remind me to tell you about the strangest dream I had. And I said, yes. Can you give me a little teaser? She said, I sailed away to China. I said, amazing. I can't wait to hear the rest. She said, yeah, I was in a little rowboat to find you. And I said, having no clue, to find me? Yeah. She said, you had to get your laundry clean. I said, in China, having no clue what is going on. She said, yeah, and then you said, ain't nothing gonna break your stride. Ain't nobody gonna slow you down. Oh no. I gotta keep on moving. I laughed so hard. I was so clueless. I had no idea. She got me good. And then I got to thinking. I said to myself, this is Chrissy's motto. Ain't nothing gonna break her stride. Oh no. And Chrissy did everything she possibly could to keep going, to the very end. Her resilience and determination was unmatched. She was always so positive. I never heard her complain, even through all of this. The worst thing she would say is, they say, how you doing? She goes, I had better days. She was always thinking of others. Whenever I came to see her, she would always ask about Elena. How's Elena doing? She's starting a new business. How's it going? She always had questions. She always asked about Elena, always asked about other people. And she wanted us to laugh, just like I heard you laughing here at my expense. And that was wonderful. I mentioned I'm Chrissy's cousin. Double cousin. Okay? Double cousin. Let me explain. My mom, sister, married my dad's brother. I know. It's all legal. 2 sisters married 2 brothers. We have the same set of grandparents. And we always had this kind of special bond between the 4 of us. And it always felt special. And whenever I would explain to someone who Chrissy or Lisa is, I'd say they're my double cousin, and they'd look at me funny, and I'd say, I don't know if that's a real term, but let me explain. They go, oh wow, I don't know how common that is, but it is so special for us. And today, it feels like, and for the last couple of weeks, it feels like something's missing. And it's really, really hard. We lost my dad in 2015, and then we lost Auntie Darlene a couple years later, and then my mom a couple years ago, and Uncle Johnny last year, and it's been a hard season. It's been really hard. But ain't nothing gonna break our stride. Oh no. Lisa, Nicole, and Randy, and there were so many others, Tracy, there were so many others, I'm sorry for mentioning. You guys were so amazing these last couple of years. And Chrissy would be so honored to stand here today and to see all of you. She was so loved, and you loved her well. About as good as anybody I've ever seen. And you know that. And you know that. So just a quick backstory, without going into too much. Susie and I, my sister, we got picked up in a church van when we were just kids, 3 and 6 or 7 years old. And we brought Christy and Lisa along because it was awesome. It was what we did at Olivet. And all through our childhood and teen years, we went to everything. It was such a rock for us. It's really defined who we are today in so many ways. And Chrissy would say how grateful she was for all of that in her life, and how loved she felt there, and the love that she felt by God. And Chrissy now we know is at peace with Jesus. And there's no question about that. There's no question about where she is. And in the Bible, at the end, it says, he, being Jesus, will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And so we stand here, we sit here on this beautiful day, knowing that Chrissy is suffering no more. No more headaches. No more sickness. And I know that because of her sweet spirit that she always carried, and she was just so stinking sweet. So sweet all the time. She would want us to know that she is okay, that she is not sad, she is not grieving, she is not crying. And I just want to say to Christopher and to Carly, I'm so sorry for your loss. Nothing can replace your remarkable mother. Nothing and no one. But I want you to look around at all these people. You are not alone. This is what community is. Whatever you need, we are here for you. So many people would jump at the opportunity to help you, whatever you need. And my encouragement to you is to let us, call us, text us, and we will be checking in with you too. And remember your mother's motto, don't let nothing break your stride. That means don't let anyone keep you from being happy and following your dreams. Be a positive, loving, and caring person just like your mom. Life will throw you all kinds of crazy, hard, difficult things like this being one of them. But your mom would want you to know, and she would want nothing to hold you down. Oh no, you gotta keep on moving. And we're all here to help you do that.
My name's Bella, and I wrote this for Chrissy's Shiva, and Annalisa asked me to say this today, so it feels wrong that I am the one still here, but I'll make the most of the opportunities I've been given. I love you so much. You are so strong. And I'll finish this battle for you.
Chrissy would be absolutely flabbergasted, bedazzled. This better? She'll be bedazzled. Thank you all for coming today to celebrate Chrissy and her life with us. For those of you whom I haven't met yet or you don't know me, I'm Chris. I'm Chrissy's ex-husband. We'll get to that. And the father of our two beautiful children. On behalf of my kids, Christopher and Carly, I know it means the world to them to have you all with us here today. I've had the honor over the last several years of delivering eulogies for my mother-in-law, Darlene, for my own dad, Richard, and for my father-in-law, John. And in all of those instances, words seemed to come right to me. I knew what I wanted to say. I knew the feelings and the emotions that I wanted to convey to the folks that were in attendance. But when it came to Chrissy, I was at a loss. There aren't words that exist that would do justice to just how amazing Chrissy was. I've taken comfort in the words of the Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh when he says, just because we do not perceive something, it is not correct to say that it does not exist. And you would not cry if you knew that looking deeply into the rain, you would still see the cloud. For me, Chrissy is. It's not was. Because while in body I may not be able to see her or talk to her, she lives in my mind, in my memories, in my heart, in my dreams, and in my kids. I remember the first time I ever saw Chrissy. And the first time I met Chrissy, it was really dark. Some friends and I picked her and I think Tina up, and the girls got in the back seat, and I didn't really get a good glimpse at Chrissy, but the first time I saw her was at Skate Town in Whitman. And I was on one side, it was at the claw machine, you know, like a claw from Toy Story, right? I was on one side and she was on the other. She was dating a friend of mine, but when I looked and I saw her, I was starstruck. For me, it was like that scene in Wayne's World when Wayne sees Cassandra for the first time and the entire movie stops and Gary Wright's Dreamweaver plays. Right? That happened. That's what happened to me. I was 16, she was 15, and at that point in my world, there was no one else for me. She was beautiful. She had a smile that absolutely lit up a room. She had a great sense of humor, but what I remember most about Chrissy is that she was so sweet and so kind. She was compassionate. She was unlike anyone I had ever met. To say that Chrissy is loved would be an understatement. The presence of all of you today, and believe me, when I wrote this, I didn't realize that all of you were going to be here. But the presence of all of you today and all of the wonderful words and poems and music sung and spoken for her is testimony to that. Chrissy made friends wherever she went. Everywhere she worked, she radiated positivity. But I would say more than that, Chrissy radiated love. She made sure that everyone knew, that everyone she knew felt loved. Whether it was finding the right gift, the right birthday cake, making food for people, or having as many of Bubba's friends over as possible as she could handle, she wanted to make sure that everyone she came into contact with felt loved. Chrissy and I were married for over 20 years, and she made sure that no matter what dumb decision I chose to make, and believe me, I made a lot of stupid ones, that I felt love regardless of the outcome. There were times when I would work so much that I saw the kids on Friday nights, and I said goodbye to them on Sunday mornings. And it was Chrissy who raised our kids and made sure they knew every single day just how loved they were by the both of us. As a mother, the only word to describe Chrissy was devoted. Chrissy was there for the kids for everything, and there wasn't a moment of their time that she didn't want to be there with them. Christopher and Carly meant the world to her. She wanted nothing more than to be their mom. Chrissy showed love in everything she did, and there was not a selfish bone in her body. She never wanted anything but for the people around her to be happy and to feel loved. Material things meant nothing to Chrissy. They didn't really. Time and experiences with her friends and family meant way more. Chrissy loved being social. She's the definition of a social butterfly. And while she did like to be in her own space in social circles, as Kathy shared, being in the center of the dance floor by herself, You know, she would choose to be with her friends 10 times out of 10, always. She would relish every opportunity to hear Lisa and Nicole sing and treat it like a brand new experience every time. In spite of my miserableness and hyper introverted tendencies, she'd pack the kids up and take them away on vacations with friends and cousins so that they could be in on the fun too. Fun mattered to Chrissy, right? Happiness mattered to Chrissy. Chrissy and I had a relationship that really was like no other. Collectively, we were a couple for 27 years before we separated. I don't think I've ever been prouder of her than the day that she came to me and said, I think we need to separate. That's weird, right? Like, who says that? Oh, I'm proud of my spouse for telling me we're done. Who says that, right? But I say it. Let me tell you why I was proud. Chrissy and I had been together basically since we were children. We both came from broken homes, both had abandonment issues and self-esteem issues, and a whole host of other things. And we started that journey so very young. Our love had transformed over the course of 20 plus years from puppy love to romantic love to a love that was deeper than anything I could describe. We actually had gone through marriage counseling, and it was Hadass who said to us, she said, you know, you're like two war-torn children going through life together, just trying to survive. And it's true. It was true. Near the end of our marriage, Chrissy was hell-bent on becoming happy, becoming whole. And that changed her for the better. But I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I hadn't evolved far enough to understand what it was that she was looking for. Our values changed. Hers, trust me, for the better. Mine remained stagnant. And it was the right decision. It was the right decision for us to separate, and we both agreed. You're not the same person at 16 and 15 that you are at 44 and 43. You're not. The love that we had, that we developed, is what made me proud of her. I was proud of her because for the first time in her life, at least with me, she was standing up for what she wanted. She didn't care what anyone else in the world thought. She wanted to be happy, and she knew there were things that needed to be done, really difficult things, in order for that to happen. I was proud of her because finally, after years and years of putting everybody else's joy, everybody else's happiness ahead of hers, she was finally making her needs important. How can I be anything but proud of her? She's the mother of my children, and she set an incredible example that day that I hope Bubba and Carly realize someday, and that is this. In order to fly, you have to leave the runway, and you have to leave the safety of the ground. Chrissy loved flying and wanted to be a pilot when we were kids, and while she didn't obtain her pilot's license, she flew that day. I'm so thankful for the caregivers who worked tirelessly and selflessly to help Chrissy. Whether it was Jackie having long conversations with her while watching Gordon Ramsay, or Irene giving her a full spa treatment while listening to 90s rap, Randy watching football and the Celtics with her whenever she wanted, or all of the other amazing people that helped. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. To Bonnie, her ride or die BFF for life since college, you will never know how special you are to me for being faithfully by Chrissy's side throughout this. The truth is that I know there would be no other place you'd rather be. To Tina, thank you for always having Carly and helping me get her to school, and for having fun things for her to do with you and the kids. To Lisa and Nicole and Vazy and Lila, words can't express my thankfulness to you. You opened your house. You gave every last drop of blood, sweat, and tears that you had for Chrissy. You never ever made her feel like work, and you never made her feel anything but loved and cared for. You turned Chrissy's house into the most peaceful and serene home so that she could be taken care of continuously, without a worry. The love that you showed for Chrissy every moment of every day from sun up till sundown was amazing, and I will forever be grateful for that. Chrissy's my best friend. I will feel a hole in my heart until I take my last breath. What I do know is that she will continue to be with me, with our kids, and with us as a collective whole. That comforts me. I hope that that will comfort you as well. Let's all choose to be as strong, independent, loving, and compassionate as Chrissy. And though he was created 49 years prior to Chrissy being born, I believe that willy-nilly, silly old bear, Winnie the Pooh, was talking about Chrissy when he said, if there ever comes a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever. Thank you.
This is one of Chrissy's favorite songs that we do. Chrissy loves all these musicians, so really happy that they're here. Thank you guys.
Gonna take my cares away. Oh, Black River, you're gonna take my cares away. Gonna take my cares, gonna carry my cares, take my cares away. Gonna take my cares, gonna carry my cares, take my cares away. Oh, dear Savior, take my cares away, Oh, dear Savior, you gotta take my cares away. Gonna take my cares, gonna carry my cares, take my cares away. Gonna take my cares, gonna carry my cares, take my cares away. Oh, sweet whiskey, oh, empty and my loneliness. Take all of the sadness inside of me. Gonna take it all Black River, gonna take my cares away.
Thank you all so much for coming. It's beautiful. Like Chrissy. Chrissy's just gonna say a few more things.
So we're just about done. And thank you again for being here. There'll be a call it party, but a party. Okay, a party.
Oh yeah, party.
It's actually there'll be a speakeasy at Randy's house. That's at 71 Pinecrest Road at West Bridgewater. The password to get in will be a wet dog smiles at a dry fire. Okay, that's how you get into the speakeasy. All right, can't come in if you don't know it. It's a wet dog smiles at a dry fire. Okay. Yeah. There will be, there was when Chrissy was at Lisa's house, when she was staying there, when her health really started to decline. There was this chair that she called the storyteller chair. She'd say, "Come sit, tell me a story in the storyteller chair." Well, every day the storyteller chair will be at Randy's with
More
a
than once a
microphone
day.
for those. What's that?
Is it more than once?
Yeah, more than once a day. Yes, no matter how many times you visited, it was always in the storyteller chair. That chair will be there. So if you want to share stories about Chrissy, there'll be a microphone there, and you can share those stories as well. You're more than encouraged to do so. You got to sit in the chair. If my largeness can fit in that chair, so can you. So there's no excuse. I should always say, sit in the chair. I'd be like, "Hun, I'm gonna break this chair. It's not gonna hold me." Thankfully, it did. And then again, I told you, Chrissy and I were together for a long time, but I'm not social, right? So I never went out with her and our circle of friends, and that wasn't my thing. And I learned recently that Chrissy was the queen of Irish goodbyes. And I thought I was, because I slip out anytime I can, so I didn't have to say goodbye to anybody. But my understanding now is that Chrissy would do that too. When they were out, Lisa would say, "Where did Chrissy go?" And Tara would say, "I think she left. I think I saw her about 20 minutes ago leaving," and not say goodbye to anybody. So that is also part of the rules. If you show up to Randy's, you've got to leave with an Irish goodbye. If you say goodbye, I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to say anything. I won't say goodbye. You just got to keep on walking, right? Like soul to soul, keep on moving, don't stop. Right? There's food there. There's going to be a kick-ass food truck will be there, and we would love for you all to be a part of that with us. And I think that's it, right? Did I hit everything? Okay. Thank you all for being with us today. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing this is for Christopher and Carly to see all of these people that love Mom so much. Again, thank you all for being with us today, and we'll see you at the speakers. All right. Thank you very much.
Sounds like a went down.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Is anyone coming to Randy's?
The password is too hard to remember.
Honestly, yeah. The password's a little tough.